Okay, good morning, class. Before we start, I have a question for all of you. With a show of hands, how many of you have walked up to somebody you completely do not know and just started talking to them? Okay, wow, I'm surprised. So, well, I hope this will help a little bit as well. Today my name is Cathy Garcia, and I'm going to be giving you guys a presentation of how to speak to a complete stranger. Next slide, please. So this is going to be a picture of me when I was in first grade. I was 6 years old, and this day, there was a day where I had a parent-teacher conference. The day of the parent-teacher conference, my mom was going to come after school, and it just so happened that that same day, I got in trouble. The teacher, yelled, "Cathy!" And all I remember was what was I doing? But I do remember I was talking to my friends, I was being very disrespectful, I was laughing and I was playing, so I definitely was being disturbing the class. So she told me, "I will definitely be mentioning this to your mom when she gets here." So I was so scared, guys. I went through lunch, I did not say not one word. After lunch, I still did not say not one word. And then when my mom came to the classroom, I remember sitting in one of those little toddler chairs, and I was just looking at my feet. I didn't want to look up at my mom. I didn't want to look up at her. Nothing. So then the conversation came up, and the teacher was like, "Yeah, she is so disrespectful. She has been talking to her friends in class. She has been disrupting class, and I just don't know what else to do with her." And I knew that when I was going to go home, I was going to get it. I just knew it. I knew if I looked at my mom, she was going to give me those hawk eyes, and I was just so scared. But then it turns out that my mom, when I looked at her, she was so happy. She was so happy because I was finally talking and making friends and socializing. And little did she know that when I was 6 years old, that's when the social butterfly of me started, because of that parent-teacher conference. So with that, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips today on how to initiate a conversation with a stranger. And as well, I'm going to be sharing how I initiated a conversation with a complete stranger that ended up becoming my best friend. The first one is giving them a compliment. So I was in a restaurant in Raleigh. It's a hot pot restaurant, and it was my first time being there. I was with a group of people, and then I see this other group of girls just waiting as well. And so I see this girl just do like this to her hair, and I go up to her and I'm like, "Your hair is so beautiful." And she was like, "Thank you." So she started going on about the products she used in her hair. Obviously, I know nothing. Honestly, I know nothing about products. So whenever you give a compliment to somebody, especially if it's a complete stranger, it just makes their day. So that is the very first tip I'm going to give you. But with that, give an honest compliment, because I'm in the Army as well, and when I first got to my first unit, I take a lot of pride in my hair when I'm in uniform. There's no flyaways, there's nothing, and so I always like having this big beautiful bun. And this one day I was like, I'm going to be different today. I'm going to slick my hair back and then do my big beautiful bun, because I usually part it. So I did that, and I was feeling myself, guys. I was like, this is great, this is different, this is going to be a great drill. And then it just turns out that one of my team members after formation, she comes and she's like, "Garcia," which is my last name, "your hair slicked back. I like." And I was like, "No, you don't." So I quickly ran to the bathroom and I changed my part and I did my hair again, and I was like, "Oh, never again." Until this day, I have never again done my hair slicked back in my Army bun. So anyways, moving on. The second tip is going to be conversate about the environment. So back again when I was in the restaurant, I gave this girl a compliment about her beautiful hair. She started telling me about these products she used, and I have no idea about that. I have no idea anything about products. So then I didn't want to end the conversation and just be awkward and just be like, "Okay, bye." So I just started talking to her. "Have you ever been to this restaurant before? What do you like to order from here?" And then the conversation just kept flowing. And that is something that people have asked me throughout my entire life, like, how can you just keep a conversation going? And I'm like, just talk about what is in the environment, really. And so that is how we started talking. At the end of that conversation, I knew exactly what I was going to order, and I was looking forward to this new restaurant that I was trying. Moving on to tip number 3 is remember their name. So earlier, before I sat down, because we were waiting for our tables to be given to us or whatever, I heard that group of girls like talking, and somebody said Emma. So I assumed that was her name, but I could have been totally wrong. So my table was ready because we were a smaller party, and then I was like, oh, well, thank you. Oh, your name was Emma, right? And she just looked at me, her eyes lit up. She was like, yes. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I overheard it earlier. And, after that, we became Instagram friends. We followed each other on Instagram. Everything was great. So, and with this, remembering their name is also something that I learned from a book. And the book is from Dale Carnegie. Which is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I love that book. Every time you read that book, you remember something different. So I highly recommend everybody read this book. Dale Carnegie, he was an American writer, and he did a lot of public speaking. He taught people how to public speak. He taught people interpersonal skills. He taught people self-improvement skills, and that's something I really, really like. I love self-improvement, so recommend this book. But then moving on, so then Emma and I, after we became Instagram friends, this was a few months before I deployed in 2019. And then I deployed, I saw on her Instagram that she was in the Army, but I thought there's no way, she's probably some random unit, reserves or something, because I am reserves. And it turns out that she's active duty. So in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, if you guys remember when all of those memes of World War III were happening, it just so happened that she was with the 82nd, and she got sent over there on emergency, and I was already there. So we were in the same camp, and we ran into each other in the dining facility, and I was like, no way. So this is us in deployment. The middle picture is after we came back from deployment, we actually continued our friendship. She was stationed in Fort Bragg, which is only an hour and a half away. So we continued our friendship, and our husbands met each other. They had a bromance or whatever. And we went on many trips together. This last picture was this past summer. They found out they were pregnant. They had a baby shower, and she got out of the Army. She moved to Texas, and so we were like, great, we're going to Texas. So we went to Texas for their baby shower, and that is how our beautiful friendship began. So to wrap things up, today I have given you 3 tips on how to talk to a stranger. The first one is giving them a compliment, talking about the environment, and remembering their name. As we grow older, a lot of you are still in high school, I believe. When I left high school, there was a lot of friendships that went their own ways. And as we grow older, we do crave that sense of friendship. We are all humans, and we crave that sense of interaction. So I really hope that one of these tips will help you meet your Emma one day. Thank you.